What do you mean? No, there isn't any glow. I woke up like this. Really? What's good, babies? Okay. I am excited because I am finally going to be doing my series, How to Write a Book in 30 Days, based on my book, The End, How to Write a Book in 30 Days. So today is the prep day, okay? And we're going to go throughout it all 30 days. So I'm mad excited about this, okay? So real quick, who am I? I am T Styles. I own and operate the Cartel Publications and the Elite Writers Academy, where I teach people how to build their book empires, like literally, okay? Because it is my goal that more of us earn money while we're asleep. I don't want people to have to worry about how they're going to be paying their bills, what's going to happen over the next pandemic, because it's coming. What's going to happen, in the event somebody gets hurt. I want you to be able to rest easy, knowing that, you know what, even if I can't go to work, I'm still getting this money, okay? So what we're going to be doing is starting today with the prep day. Today is not day one. It's going to be the prep day. I'm going to tell you what you need before you write that book and how this will apply, okay? Now, I want to tell you how this book came to be. Okay, so this book came to be when I first came into the game. I actually came into the game with a self-published book called Rainbow Heart. Rainbow Heart was my very first book. I wrote it. It took me so long, guys, literally. I know you don't believe me, but it took literally, I want to say like a year. And this was like editing. And prior to that, it was in its journal form, because I had a lot of things that were going on with me psychologically, being stressed. I had a really good job, was in charge of a lot of people at work. I worked for a major cell phone company at the time. And we had just learned that our positions were being transferred to another state. And they were going to give us the opportunity to go. But if you went, you had to leave. So my marriage to my husband at the time was on the rocks. It was just bad. And I was just stressed and found myself in a situation where I was basically told, look, you have to journal your thoughts so that we can understand what you're feeling, because it was so compounded. I wasn't the girl that I am now, or the woman rather. I wasn't the woman that I am now, who would spend time daily analyzing, what does Toy want? Back then it was like, I just want to just get up and then go get something to drink and just chill. But I wasn't really finding out what was wrong with me. So I ended up journaling. That journal became this book called Rainbow Heart. Nobody was interested, okay? I didn't understand the mechanics of writing or any of that. So once I became successful, I got a book deal with Triple Crown Publications for my books Black and Ugly and A Hustler's Son, then launched the Cartel. I started to understand that there were several ways to get this book written. And this is one way. The way I teach in The End, How to Write a Book in 30 Days, is to teach you just to start. Because I teach another way in the Elite Writers Academy, which is the outlining process. Because with the bottom line with that is, you want to be able to create multiple books in a shorter period that are really good books. I don't want us to put out trash, people. So I want you to, learn how to do multiple books. So that's the Elite Writers Academy. This is for people who really don't even know what their story is. This will help jog you a little bit. Okay, so what will you need? First, it's a lot of mental work. And the reason why I say it's mental work is because one of the sections in my book is called A Little Book is Murdered. And basically, it goes into detail about what happens generally with most of us. We have an idea. We get excited about this idea. And this idea is in its infant stage with baby booties on and everything. Like it's a baby, just a little baby. It's cute. So, but it's not really formed. And so guess what you do? You start telling people. You say, I'm about to write a book. And then you get, oh, for real? Yeah, I'm going to write a book about, it's a sci-fi book. And it's about like this little black girl who has found these silver boots. And whenever she puts these silver boots on, she becomes really powerful. And so she starts learning how to make a girl. Please don't write no book like that. Why? Because it's dumb. and you get discouraged. You get like, oh my God, because nobody's ever as excited about your idea as you are. In fact, the majority of people come in on the bandwagon after you've blown up. But it's up to you to put the work in originally. So I talk about that in this earlier chapter because it is something that you need to think about. It's something that happened to me. I was laughed at by my husband. I'm not believe my son. He was a baby too. I think he thought it was funny too. I was going to write a book because I didn't even have anything but a GED at the time. So how dare you write a book? You ain't even graduate. You didn't even walk across the stage. But I didn't let that stop me. So that is the first thing you need to understand, okay? That you may run into situations where you are sharing your idea. You're going to have to learn how to get over that. Nobody's going to come. If you're blessed, you may have one person. After I got divorced, I ended up finding that person and we're married now. But in the beginning, you may not have that person. So you may have to do this on your own, and that's fine, okay? So let's talk about the initial prep. The first thing is the conversation that you're going to have with the people around you. Yes, you are going to have a conversation. And I know you really don't want to do this, but you are going to have that conversation. So you are going to deal with two types of people. I call them the care, family, and friend members, which we'll call the CFFs. And then the extended family and friend people will be called the EFFs. The CFFs are those people who rely on you for care. You know, you see them on a regular basis. You know, it could be your children. It could be your spouses, spouses. I don't know if you into more than one, but it could be your spouse. It could be people that rely on you. You will need to give them an explanation for why you are off into the corner writing these pages. You're going to have to do that, okay? But the EFFs are people who you speak to a few times a month. Don't tell these people what you're doing. Leave them out of it, you know? And when I say leave them out of it, don't tell them anything because all they're going to do is not understand. You're going to be discouraged and you're going to be let down. This chapter goes into more detail with that. So if you get the book, I go into a lot of more detail. But I want you to know the only people that you need to be telling are your CFFs, people who rely on you. Okay. Other than that, nobody else needs to know. So dealing with the unsupportive spouse. I also talk about that. You may have in your CFF an unsupportive spouse. Okay. And I really wish there was a way to make things easier for you with this. You are just going to have to do it anyway. I give you some information more in this book on how you do that. But I want you to know the bottom line is if you have an unsupportive spouse, there's nothing short that you can do short of saying, I want a divorce. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to break up with anybody either. Because the more mental baggage that you have while you're trying to write your book in 30 days, the harder it's going to be to write your book in 30 days. So just do your book while the person is not around. If the person is, y'all have the same room and, y'all spend most of your time in the bedroom, write in the living room. If you are having a situation where it's time to write and, you got to deal with an unsupportive spouse, write in the car. Get a fake part-time job. Normally I don't condone lying, but you got to do a little bit of lying anyway because you are a storyteller. So you're going to have to be able to lie good. But what I'm trying to get you to do is make sure that nothing, and I do mean nothing, is going to stop you from getting your goal. Okay? You have to have that. You have to be selfish for the first time in your fucking life. And trust me, it will pay off. Okay? Next, I give you tools of the trade. And I'm going to list the tools of the trade right here. Or is it right here? I'm going to tell myself this so I can know where I always say right here. This is the left toy. Okay. And this is the right. So next time, all my videos, I'll be pointing at the right place once I edit it and know where it's at. But I'm going to list the tools of the trade here. The first thing you're going to need is a great nonfiction book. Okay. I love A Course in Miracles. I tell y'all that. This book is my life. I read it every morning. You're going to also need a good book in your genre. Now, I'm going to get into that later. A good book in your genre. You're going to need a good pen because you're not going to be using the computer, babies. I'm sorry. You're going to need a notebook. You can have one with perforated pages inside. You're going to need a box of manila folders. You're going to need 1 pack of Post-it self-stick easel pads, and they're going to be the real gigantic ones that you can stick on a wall. Okay. You're going to need a pack of colorful markers. I favor the Sharpie chart markers, but you can buy what you want, not the fine point. You're going to need a small pad or note recording machine. You can use your phone. Your phone works just fine. And you're going to need colorful markers and arthritis gloves. If you are somebody that, tend to have problems with your hands, then you definitely want to do that. Now, the purpose of your great nonfiction book is to give you spiritual uplifting, because writing can be draining emotionally. And it's not that it's a bad thing. If it's horror, you may feel like you need to just, clean these energies. But it's not that it's a bad thing, but it's just that in order to get a clear mind, you need a clear heart. And having a great nonfiction book available that you read right before, or just one page or two, it really does help. I don't know why, but I did this repeatedly, and I taught people how to do this for the 30-day process, and it worked. You also want to get a great fiction book. The reason you're getting a great fiction book is to be inspired. Do not read this fiction book to try to steal these people's words. That's not the purpose of it. It's just to remind you why you're writing. So pick one that you really like, even if you read it before. The pen and paper is self-explanatory. You want a pen that's going to glide across the page. You don't want nothing that's going to feel funky writing with. So you want something that's going to glide across the page and then make you feel good. Okay. The box of manila folders are a place where you're going to keep your notes and your reminders for different things. Because when you're writing your book, How to Write a Book in 30 Days, when you're actually doing the process, you're not going to go back and make any changes. So you want these manila folders to be able to hold all your notes. Because you want to just go forward. The purpose is always to go forward and not to go back. And that's another reason why I like writing hand. Oh, damn toy. That's another reason why I like writing by hand, because you can't go back and say, you know what, I don't like that. No, you got to go forward because it's already in the book and there's no way to change that. The Post-it pads is so you can see the large Post-it things, is so that you can see your notes, see your process. And I also have a major character sheet outline in this book for you. Now, you got to have the book for this, babies. I'm sorry. It's not necessary, but it definitely helps. For instance, on the major character sheet, I have the age, hair, height, weight, job, weaknesses, strengths, relationship status of your characters, so that you can really start to know who they are. And I have them listed in a way that is easy for you to see. So that's also what you're going to put on there. And the major character sheet, I go into way more detail for you, even more details. The arthritis gloves are self-explanatory to make sure your fingers are not hurting you while you're writing, because you're going to be writing for a long time. And these note recorders is crucial, which you can use for your phone, because there are going to be times, again, when you're writing where you're going to want to add something later. And you don't want to wait for this idea. Even if you're out with somebody, say you're out drinking or you're on a date. I don't know what you're into. It could be while you're making love. But say you are in the middle of something. You need to get into the habit of saying, excuse me, baby, real quick, I got an idea. And you grab your phone and say, make sure those silver boots have steel toes in them. And then you leave it alone. Because what you're doing is allowing your brain the energy and the ability that it needs to feed you great ideas. If you keep ignoring these ideas, they're not going to come. What most people do is they get ready to write their book. They don't honor their ideas. They don't honor their thoughts. And then when they sit in front of the computer or their notebook, they think they're going to get a good idea. And it's like, nah, fuck you. You don't ever come to me any other time. Why should I give you any ideas now? That's not going to be you. So you're going to make sure you always record your ideas. So these are what these tools are for. This is the prep, okay? So I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to come back on day one, on the actual day one, with more information on what you need to get this book done. I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited because you get the one book done, you get the next book done, the next book done, and then before you know it, you have your arsenal and you are able to take care of yourselves forever. All right? So I will be back. Talk to you soon. Bye.